All right, let's dive right into this explainer and unpack the absolutely massive chain reaction AI is triggering right now. We're looking at a literal domino effect here. It's one that starts locally, maybe right at your own desk, and ripples all the way up to national GDP and global economic stability. We're going to use the data and arguments from some recent expert discussions to map exactly how this whole thing is unfolding.
Here's our roadmap for today. We're covering 1. The AI job anxiety, 2. Corporate savings versus national GDP, 3. The tax revenue challenge, 4. Debating government strategies, and finally 5. The augmented intelligence era. Let's get into it. Section 1. The AI job anxiety. We have to start by addressing the visceral fear of job replacement that's basically sweeping through the workforce right now. 70%. Recent research suggests that 7 out of 10 workers are currently worried about losing their jobs to AI. Now, experts debating this point out that, sure, humans are historically terrible at predicting the future, but they also totally agree that when it comes to the immediate future of work, this anxiety is absolutely justified. To really put a human face on this data, take a look at Richard. He's a recent computer science graduate who has applied to over 150 software engineering positions. The entry-level coding roles he literally went to university to train for are just evaporating, all because companies are using AI to replace them. It's creating this terrifying bottleneck for young talent trying to break into the market. And the systemic data totally backs up Richard's experience. We're seeing a 16% decline in entry-level jobs since ChatGPT launched, and a massive 28% drop in graduate jobs just in the past year alone. But here's the really crucial part. It's not just about getting a foot in the door. As one professional pointed out, these routine jobs are where young workers build the fundamental competence they need to actually critique and manage AI later on in their careers. Add to this some absolutely massive corporate layoffs, like 8,000 at Standard Chartered, a projected 55,000 fewer employees at BT by the end of the decade, over 14,000 at Amazon, and you really start to see the true scale of this disruption.
Section 2. Corporate savings versus national GDP. Now let's look at how this individual job loss builds into a massive macroeconomic paradox.
This is where the domino effect really kicks in. Step 1, a business deploys AI to cut costs by laying people off. Honestly, that makes total sense for them, right? But step 2, mass worker displacement happens across the board. Step 3, collective consumer income plummets because suddenly way fewer people have paychecks. And step 4, the consumption side of national GDP is completely wiped out. The workers a company just fired are also the consumers who buy their products. Without their income, the entire economic machine just grinds to a halt.
So you have this really sharp contrast between the micro and macro realities. At the micro level, laying off staff to improve a corporate bottom line is entirely logical. But zoom out to the macro level, and if every organization does it simultaneously, it presents an existential risk to the economy. It's a classic tragedy of the commons. Those short-term individual corporate gains threaten to destroy the long-term consumer base that everybody relies on. Section 3, the tax revenue challenge. Let's pull back even further to the national government level. How on earth does a nation run if this kind of displacement actually happens? If we look at the UK, it exposes a massive structural vulnerability. Roughly 80% of their entire economy is built on services. And what's the primary target of large language models and frontier AI? You guessed it, the service sector. The very foundation of the nation's wealth creation is sitting directly in the crosshairs of this technological shift. Which brings us to the ultimate million-dollar question that political leaders are actively sweating over right now. If AI scales rapidly and the service sector workforce shrinks dramatically, who exactly is paying the income taxes required to keep the country running? Governments are facing what experts call a demographic squeeze, and it's basically a perfect storm. We already have an aging population. That inherently means higher demand and higher costs for public services, healthcare, and pensions. If you combine that rising cost with plummeting tax revenues caused by mass AI displacement, the math simply does not add up. The national ledger breaks. Section 4. Debating government strategies. So how are governments trying to fix this? Let's impartially explore the contrasting political strategies being debated right now. Right now, there are two major competing philosophies on how to handle this transition. On one side, you have the worker protection camp. They argue that we must fiercely defend employment rights, prevent companies from easily sacking workers, and aggressively fund skills training so we can shape technology in the interests of the workforce. On the flip side,
The deregulation camp argues that increasing the cost of employing humans through higher taxes or heavy regulations actually just accelerates job losses. They argue the priority has to be making it cheaper and easier to hire humans, cutting red tape, and giving businesses the freedom to win globally. But despite those deep ideological differences, both sides actually agree completely on one massive risk: the offshore threat. If a nation just consumes AI built somewhere else, rather than building a strong domestic AI ecosystem, they are going to end up outsourcing all of their wealth and data straight across the Atlantic to US big tech. The end goal, everyone agrees, is that you absolutely must create wealth locally so you can reinvest it locally. Section 5. The Augmented Intelligence Era. Okay, we've talked a lot about the fears and the risks, but let's look at the reality of where this technology actually sits, right now, today.
History gives us a really helpful lens here because we've navigated massive technological shifts before. In the past, agriculture employed nearly everyone. Now it employs around 3% of the workforce, but produces vastly more food. In the 1980s, the spreadsheet was absolutely terrifying to accountants, but it ultimately allowed them to add way more strategic value, which actually created more jobs in the sector. The hope is that the AI disruption follows a similar curve: initial shock, followed by ultimate productivity and brand new job creation.
And this brings us to a really vital definition. A lot of experts argue that we are not actually in an era of artificial intelligence replacing humans entirely. Instead, we're in the era of augmented intelligence. The goal of augmented intelligence is to act as a tool that empowers the workforce, making every individual smarter, faster, and more capable, rather than just making them obsolete. In fact, to ground us in the present moment, one business owner who's currently utilizing AI noted that we are deeply entrenched in an expensive experimentation phase. He estimated that right now, 90% of their AI implementations don't even fully work yet. So far from instantly wiping out the payroll, testing and integrating this technology is actually adding massive costs to businesses today. We are very much still figuring out how to actually exploit the opportunities it brings. But as that integration happens, we're going to see a profound shift in what we value. Historically, software development, numerical jobs, and analytical busy work have been scarce, so they were highly valued. AI is about to make those exact skills abundant and extremely cheap. But basic economics tells us that value is driven by scarcity. So as AI handles all that routine stuff, the true value of genuine human relations, empathy, and high-level creativity is going to completely skyrocket, simply because a machine cannot replicate it. I'm going to leave you with this final, somewhat provocative thought to consider about your own industry and career path. A spreadsheet is a tool you use to navigate your job, but a self-driving car replaces the driver entirely. So, as we hurtle into the future, ask yourself, is AI going to remain your new navigation system, or are we slowly building a self-driving economy that doesn't even need us at the wheel? Thanks for joining me on this explainer. Keep learning, and I'll catch you next time.